Welcome back to the series where I take a card out of the Granny Square Stitches card deck every week and we make it together. There are 50 cards, so we're going to be doing this for 50 weeks, and we are up to card number 29. So week 29. This is called Spring Garden. There's the front side, looks like little flowers. All right, let's read all the words on the back of the card. To work the square shown on the card, make 16 chain and follow chart. Work odd numbered rows in yarn A, alternate yarns B and C on even numbered rows until square, ending with an odd numbered row. And then you do your single crochet edging that we've been doing for 28 weeks now. To work the pattern in any size, your starting chain needs to be a multiple of 3, and then you add 4. And then follow the chart. Alrighty, so after we make our 16 chain, we are going to be doing this V stitch into the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th chain from the hook. So our V stitch is made up of a double crochet, a chain 1, and then a double crochet all into that 5th chain from the hook. Then we're going to skip 2 chains and repeat that V in the next chain and continue that all the way down to the end, where we're going to put a double crochet in our last chain and change color. The colors on the front, they've got a green, a purple, and a red. So I have chosen these colors of my Anthem yarn. I've got lime green, lavender, and poppy red. So we're gonna have some fun with those, and we are starting with our lime green. So let's find the end of that. Anthem is a worsted weight acrylic yarn, so I am using a 5mm crochet hook. I am going to put a slip knot on my hook and then do 16 chains. Now we've already read the back, so we know that we need to work into the 5th chain from the hook. You should know by now I like to turn my chain over and work into these back bumps. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 5th back bump. I'm going to yarn over, insert into that bump, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, I'm fairly certain we are going to be working into this turning chain, not our double crochet. So if you look at the right behind your hook, let me just zoom in a little more. Right behind the loop that's on your hook is a V. That's the double crochet we just made. So we need to find the V below that. That is the top of our turning chain, and that's where we need to work into on the next row. So I got a double crochet. To complete my V stitch, I need to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to go right back into this same chain and do another double crochet. And that is my V stitch. So now we're going to skip 2 chains, and in this 3rd chain we're going to repeat that V stitch. So 1 double crochet, a chain of 1, and then a 2nd double crochet, all in that same stitch. Come back down to your chain. You're going to skip 2 chains and make another V stitch in that 3rd chain. So you're going to continue this all the way down your chain until there are 2 chains left. So skip 2 in the 3rd, make a V. I've got 2 chains left. In this last chain, we're going to do a double crochet and we're going to change color. So I'm inserting into that last chain. It's a little tight. Just got to wiggle your hook in there. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then I'm going to pause. And we need our purple next. So my trick is to bring the color that I've just been working with and just lay it on top of my hook. And then I lay my new color on my hook and I pull through all of those loops. And I'm going to peek ahead. I need to chain I need to chain 4, but that third chain is where we're going to be working. So I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to insert my stitch marker, and then we're going to look at the card together. That's what we have for row number 1. Let's take a look at the instructions for row 2. So we are right here. Get my pointy tool. I've done my chain of 3, and then I just paused. I put my stitch marker in there because I looked ahead and I saw that I needed to work into it. Okay, I need to make one more chain, and then in the chain 1 that is between our double crochets, we are going to make a popcorn stitch. So this is a variation of some of the clusters that we've worked before, but instead of half forming our double crochet stitches, we fully form our double crochet stitches all in this same space, but then we are going to join them together in a unique way, and it's a little easier for me to show it than to verbally take you through it. However, I want to remind you that in your booklet on pages 6 and 7, you'll find all the different symbols. So this is the one that we are dealing with here, the popcorn stitch. And then if you flip over, you will find how to make it. So the written instructions are there, okay? For the sake of this video, it's probably going to be easier for me to just visually walk you through it instead of reading out those instructions. So after that, after we make our popcorn stitch, we are going to chain 2 and repeat that popcorn stitch. So every space between our V's gets a popcorn stitch. So this is like the top of the flower, and our double crochets in the V are the leaves, if you think of it that way. When we get to the end, we've only have one chain after the last popcorn stitch, and then we're going to double crochet in the chain that I marked with a stitch marker. So that's kind of like our beginning chain 3, and we're going to change color back to green. Okay, let's walk through this popcorn stitch. So I've got my 3 chains. Let's just tug those. I'm going to add one more chain, and then we are going to find this chain 1 space between our double crochet stitches. Are we in focus? Make sure we are. We're going to put 5 double crochets in there. Okay, so yarn over, insert into this space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do that 4 more times. Okay, that's 5 double crochets. So now I'm just going to pull up a loop, just to give it a little bit of height so I don't lose that loop. And I'm going to find my first double crochet stitch. That's right here. I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch, and then I'm going to put that loop on my hook. Draw it through that stitch, tighten it up, chain 1. And we actually need a chain of 2. And now I can repeat that. You see how it pops out? Gives it lots of dimension. So now I'm going to repeat that in the next chain 1 space. So first we need 5 double crochets. This is number 5. I'm going to tug up a little longer of a loop. I'm going to come over, I'm going to find this first double crochet that I made, insert my hook into the top of that double crochet, put that loop on my hook and draw it through that stitch. And now I can chain 2. I'm going to come over to this next one and make one more. So we're going to do this popcorn stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces. Okay, I've got my 5 double crochets. I'm going to show you this one more time, and then you can make the last one on your own. I'm going to insert into the first double crochet that I made of those 5 double crochets, grab the working loop, pull it through that stitch, tighten it up, and now I can chain 2 and make my last popcorn. So go ahead and make that, and I will meet you up after that. Okay, I've made my last popcorn. I'm almost ready to change color, but frustratingly, my green is all the way on the other side. So guess what, guys? We're gonna have lots of ends to weave in with this one. Yay. Okay, let's see what we have on our card. After our last popcorn, we need to, sorry, we're going this way. We need to chain one and then double crochet into the top of the turning chain. That's where my stitch marker is, and we're going to change color. So I'm going to chain one. You're hopping over this double crochet, so don't be tempted to put your double crochet into that stitch. I'm gonna take out my stitch marker, but hold on to the chain where it was, yarn over, insert into that chain, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through two. And now I can grab my green, pull that through, and we are going to be chaining three. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to replace my stitch marker. Odds are pretty good that we are going to be stitching into that. Come on. So we can also cut off our purple. And that's what we have so far for purple little flowers. All right. Looking at row number 3, this is essentially very similar to row number 1. However, we need to offset where our flowers are so that they nestle between the flowers that we just made. So I've just done this chain. I've put my stitch marker in here. Now I'm going to double crochet into the chain one space. Then I'm going to skip over my popcorn, and into this chain 2 that we made, we're going to make our V-stitch. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then skip over everything else and into this next chain 2 space, make another V. Do that again one more time, and then we are going to put a double crochet into the chain 1, and then another double crochet into our turning chain. That's where my stitch marker is. And then we're going to switch color to the red. So I've already chained 3. I'm going to turn my work. I'm just going to again tug on these tails to sort of tighten everything. This is my chain 1 space, so that gets a double crochet. Then we're going to hop over to this next chain 2 space and make our V-stitch. So that is a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet. There's no chains in between our V-stitches. We're just going to hop over to this next chain 2 space and do another V-stitch. One more time. And now we're at the end. We've got our turning chain and we've got a chain 1 space. That chain 1 space gets a double crochet. And then this is why I find it so helpful to have these stitch markers here, because I can take out my stitch marker but hold that chain where it was and make my double crochet in that chain. That way I know I have my spacing correct. And we're going to change color to our red. I'm going to make an educated guess that I have to chain 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and replace my stitch marker. Turn our work so we can look at the right side. Cut my tail. Did I cut my, yes I did. And that's what we have so far. Whoops, let's center that. Okay, so now Row 4 is again kind of a repeat of this row 2, however we're offsetting it again. So I've got my starting chain of 3 in this this double crochet that we made. We are going to put another double crochet, we're going to chain 2 and then make our popcorn in the V-stitch, chain 2, popcorn, chain 2, popcorn, chain 2, and then we end with 2 double crochets. I think you guys can handle that. So I'm going to work that off camera. After that row is done, if we bring this back in, we are now repeating. So we're going to repeat our first row, second row, and third row. And that is probably going to be enough to get square. That's what they have on the front there. All right. So I'm going to work all those rows off camera and I'll come back when it's done and all my ends are woven in, because there's a lot of them. See you then. And there it is. That was a lot of ends to weave in. So yeah, I don't love that about this particular pattern, but it is what it is. Okay, so now we just need to work our edging. Now I left my green attached after I did my last row because those V-stitch rows are all in the back. So now that I flipped it over, my right side is facing up so that when I do my border, it's going to be on the right side. It's all going to be good. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14. Okay, well, that's going to be our number. We're going to do 14. I can take out my stitch marker now. Just going to flip it back over for a minute and chain 1. And then it's a single crochet in every stitch and chain across the top. So that's my chain 1 space. So I'm going to go into that space for a single crochet. So your chain spaces are just in your V's. And then you would have 2 double crochets next to each other. So don't get that confused and try and put extra stitches in between the double crochets that are next to each other. And at the end, remember, it's not a V, it's just 2 double crochets next to each other, although one is a chain 3. So let's just do a stitch count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. 13 it is. That's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. So 13 across the top, we'll have 13 across the bottom, and we'll try and aim for 13 down the sides. So if we look at these stitches, technically we've got double crochets on each row, whether they're double crochet or chain 3. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That would be 14. You know what? I'm okay with 14. I know it's going to make it a little bit more rectangular, but none of these squares are perfect. So I've already, I put a single crochet in my last stitch. I chained 1. I'm going to come back into that same stitch to start my side. And then you're just finding spots to insert your hook down the sides of these stitches, whether they are double crochets or chains, and you're putting 2 per row. The fact that you change color with each row makes it really easy to define where your rows start and stop. So I'm going to do 1 on the side, and then I'm going to do 1 on the bottom. Let's just figure out exactly where. So I'm going to come, and this time I am going to try and go into my chain. I think it will make that corner a little bit more defined. I'm going to chain 1, go right back into that same stitch as we turn the corner. Now let's count where we're going to put our stitches. So we've got our corner made. And now this is the bottom of our V-stitch, so it's 1 gonna go there, 2 across our skipped chain 2s, repeat, and then at the very end we've got a V-stitch. We've technically got a chain, although it looks like maybe I stitched into it, I'm not quite sure, but 1 here next to our V, and then 1 in this last chain, and that should be 13. And then you're just going to make a corner there and come up the side and just mimic what you did on the bottom side. Slips, make sure you do a chain 1 to make your corner, slip stitch into that first stitch, and then go around again, always doing your single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the corner. And then I will do that off camera and come back and show you the finished square when I'm done. And there it is, all finished, border on. That's really cute. Not a fan of all the ends I had to weave in, I will admit, but I do love the little flowers that you get, little tulips. I love tulips, they're my favorite flower. Okay, so that is week number 29, Spring Garden. And next week, we are gonna tackle this one. I love a puff stitch, so I'm excited for this one. And this is just called Puffs. Join me next week for Puffs. See you then.